The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and his group of believers were banished to a valley, and an embargo was placed on them. Neither food nor water was allowed to be delivered to them. His companions used to say that they would die in any case. So why not go down fighting? After all, these Muslims too came from among those who were ready to kill and cause bloodshed over the most trivial of matters. But when anyone said, "Permit us to fight," the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, would say that he had not been commanded to fight, but to be patient. This patience was not due to any weakness. Indeed, history later proved that a few hundred believers managed to defeat a force of thousands. This patience was shown only because the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, had not been commanded by Allah the Almighty to fight. At last, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, allowed some oppressed ones to migrate. And then, after some time, he too migrated to Medina. By that time, there were some inhabitants of that town who had become Muslims. On his arrival, a large number of people embraced Islam in Medina. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, entered into covenants with other tribes and faiths, and amongst them there were also Jews. He established a state in which all subjects were granted freedom. If anyone was punished for some crime, that punishment was given according to his or her own religious jurisprudence. Nevertheless, as subjects of the state, all of them held equal rights. Despite all this, the allegation leveled against the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, is that, God forbid, he spread terror. The question is that when it is known that the Muslims were in such a condition of helplessness and were being so cruelly oppressed, why is such an allegation being made against the Prophet and the Muslims? I have briefly mentioned the conditions which prevailed at that time. Even in such conditions, when the Muslims migrated to Medina and began to live in relative peace, here also the Meccans hounded, pursued, and attacked them. The first battle is known as the Battle of Badr. At that time, Muslims were in such a condition that they had neither resources nor equipment for battle, whereas confronting them was a fully equipped army. These circumstances are not hidden from anyone and are recorded in history. What could those unskilled and inexperienced people have done? Some of them were only teenagers. However, when the enemy wanted to annihilate the Muslims, Allah the Almighty instructed them to fight back. So the following verse of the Holy Quran was revealed. And according to historians, it is the first commandment that deals with fighting. But I invite you to look at its beauty and the purpose for which the permission to fight was granted. It says, Permission to fight is given to those against whom war is made, because they have been wronged. And Allah indeed has the power to help them. Those who have been driven out from their homes unjustly only because they said, "Our Lord is Allah." And if Allah did not repel some men by means of others, there would surely have been pulled down cloisters and churches and synagogues and mosques, wherein the name of Allah is oft commemorated. And Allah will surely help one who helps him. Allah is indeed powerful, mighty. Chapter 22, verses 40 to 41. God says that if permission had not been given for defense, then the peace of society would have been destroyed. Even today, any sane person, irrespective of his or her religion, would say that the rationale is indeed valid. The first reason is that if someone is attacked, he has a right to defend himself. Secondly, if as a result of tyranny, if people are forced to migrate, or they are driven out of their homes unjustly, and even then they are hounded and not allowed to live in peace in a state governed by them, then it is quite reasonable that they be allowed to retaliate for the injury caused to them. Thirdly, oppressors do not confine themselves to their first targets. Indeed, their greed does and will continue to increase, not caring about who belongs to which religion. They will try to subjugate everyone. So enough is enough. Thus, it becomes important to nip this evil in the bud in order to arrest the cruelty entailed thereby. So this permission for war was for defense and for securing peace. Then drawing attention to the people with whom you are allowed to fight, Allah the Almighty says in the Holy Quran, "And fight in the cause of Allah against those who fight against you, but do not transgress. Surely Allah loves not the transgressors." Chapter 2, verse 191. So it is clearly expressed here that the commandment of jihad was only against those people who fought in matters of faith and wanted to convert them by the sword, as had happened during the time in Mecca, where the disbelievers of Mecca had attacked and tried to end Islam.